Most people think venture capital is a closed room. Stanford networks, $100 million funds, pitch decks, and no revenue. You need to be accredited. You need connections. You need to already be rich just to get in the room. That story is partly true, but the principles behind it are not locked behind any fund manager's door. They are a framework, a specific, learnable way of thinking about risk, return, and time. You can apply every one of them on a $500 monthly budget while working a full-time job. This is not about becoming a venture capitalist. This is about learning to think exactly like one. Before you invest like a VC, you need to understand what a VC actually believes about money. The average retail investor is taught one thing above everything else: minimize loss, protect the downside. Mainstream financial advice has one core belief: losing money is the single worst possible outcome you can have. A venture capitalist believes the complete opposite, and that difference in belief changes everything about how they invest. In a standard VC fund, the expectation going in is that the majority of investments will fail completely. Not underperform, fail. Return zero. The model works because a few investments return 50 or 100 times capital. One exceptional outcome funds the entire portfolio. That is the structure. That is the entire point of the model. This is called power law investing. Returns don't follow a normal distribution, they follow a power law. A tiny number of outcomes account for the overwhelming majority of total returns. The top 1% dominates everything. In a power law environment, missing a winner costs far more than backing a loser. Loss aversion is counterproductive. The question shifts from how do I avoid losing money to how do I position for the exceptional outcome. That is the first shift, and it changes everything downstream about how you build and manage a portfolio. Venture funds don't make one bet. They make 20, 30, sometimes 50, not because they are uncertain. Diversification within a high-conviction thesis is how you ensure you're in the room when the outlier arrives. You can apply this exact principle to your own portfolio right now without touching a single startup investment. The structure is simple. You divide your investable capital into 3 tiers, each with a completely different purpose. Tier 1 is your foundation, 60 to 70%. Index funds, broad ETFs, dividend-paying equities, stable, compounding, boring. Not where exceptional returns come from, but the foundation everything else is built on. Tier 2 is sector conviction, 15 to 20% in industries where you have a genuine informational edge. Not tips, not momentum trades. Areas where your professional experience gives you insight the average investor simply doesn't have. A software engineer who tracks enterprise deals has an edge. A healthcare worker who sees platform adoption has an edge. Tier 3 is your asymmetric bets, 10 to 15%. This is where you actually invest like a VC, small cap growth, emerging markets, early stage platforms. Downside is total loss. Upside restructures your entire net worth trajectory. Most retail investors never build Tier 3. They consider it reckless. A VC would consider its absence reckless. Without asymmetric upside exposure, you are guaranteed to underperform the market over a long enough time horizon. A managing partner at a top-tier VC fund has analysts, associates, consultants, and proprietary deal flow. You have evenings. The gap is smaller than it appears. Most of what determines a great investment is available in public information. VCs evaluate companies across 4 dimensions. You can apply all 4 without access to a single private deal. First, the market, not the company. Before evaluating a business, evaluate the market it operates in. Is it growing? Large enough for a dominant player? Is a structural shift creating a window for outsized growth? A mediocre company in a massive, expanding market will outperform an excellent company in a stagnant one. Always. Second, the moat. What makes this business structurally difficult to compete with 5 years from now? Network effects, switching costs, proprietary data, and regulatory barriers. If you can't name the moat, the thesis is incomplete. Third, unit economics. Customer acquisition cost versus lifetime value. Does the ratio improve as the business scales? In public markets, you look at gross margin trends, revenue per employee, and capital efficiency over time. A business that gets more profitable as it scales is fundamentally different from one that needs perpetual capital to grow. Fourth, the people. In early-stage VC, this is often the single most weighted factor in any investment decision. In public markets, the equivalent is management quality, capital allocation history, and how much skin the CEO has in the game. You don't need a research team to evaluate these four dimensions. You need 2 consistent hours a week. Here's the structural advantage a salaried investor has over a professional fund manager that almost nobody talks about. A venture fund has a defined life, typically 10 years. Capital must be returned to investors at the end of the cycle. That means fund managers are forced to sell positions, even exceptional ones, on a timeline driven by fund structure. You have no such constraint. Your salary is your management fee. Your income funds your life and your portfolio. You can hold a compounding position for 15, 20, 25 years, far longer than any institutional fund allows. The most value-destructive thing most investors do is sell early, because they need liquidity or because they're nervous. Your employment income eliminates the liquidity problem. You never need to sell a position to fund your life. The compounding math is unambiguous. $10,000 at 20% annually over 25 years becomes $950,000. The same position sold at year 10 and redeployed at average returns becomes roughly $180,000. The difference is not strategy. It is not a skill. It is patience. And patience requires no credentials whatsoever. Patience is the one edge that requires no network, no fund structure, and no capital beyond what you already have. Knowledge without behavioral discipline is worthless. This is as true in investing as it is anywhere else. Buying after extended price appreciation, selling after an extended decline, overweighting recent information, abandoning a thesis on short-term volatility, treating a position's current price as information about its underlying value. These are the patterns that compound into permanent loss. A VC is structurally insulated from most of these failures, not because they are smarter, but because of illiquidity. There is no ticker, no daily mark-to-market, no segment is telling you your position is down 18% this week. You have to build this insulation deliberately. The tools to do it are straightforward and available to everyone. First, automate contributions. Remove investment decisions entirely from the emotional cycle of daily market news. Second, set a quarterly review cadence, not daily, not weekly, quarterly. The frequency of checking destroys long-term returns. Third, write down your thesis for every position at the time of purchase. Date it. Be specific. Evaluate every position against its original thesis, not its current price. If the thesis is intact, price is noise. If the thesis has broken, management change, competitive disruption, regulatory shift, price is irrelevant. The investment is simply wrong. The most important habit is the investment journal. Why you bought, what would make you sell, and the expected time horizon. Over the years, this journal has become the most valuable financial document you own, because the act of writing forces clarity. You don't need a fund. You don't need an MBA. You don't need to quit your job or move to San Francisco. What you need is a framework. The same principles behind the highest returning asset class in modern finance: power law thinking, portfolio construction, rigorous due diligence, long time horizons, behavioral discipline, applied systematically to your own capital. The 9 to 5 is not the obstacle, it is the foundation. The stable income that funds everything and removes all pressure. It gives you the one resource professional investors spend millions trying to manufacture: unencumbered, patient, structural time. The investors who build generational wealth from ordinary salaries are not the ones who found the best stock tips. They are the ones who built a framework, held to it through volatility, and gave their positions enough time. That framework is available to you. It always has been. The only thing left is to start.